brilliant move by the Trump administration. They're giving illegals Christmas bonuses. I love this. Let's start out with our DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem.
Well, it's home for the holidays season, so not only are we returning those kiddos back to their families that Biden lost, we also are saying that if you voluntarily want to go home now to your country, if you're in this United States of America illegally, we will give you $3,000 through the holidays to send you home. We'll buy you a ticket, give you $3,000 to go home, and that includes people that have not been detained, maybe have interacted with us.
$3,000 and a new car! Kristi Noem announces bigger incentive for illegals to self-deport, now offering $3,000 instead of the normal $1,000. A limited time Christmas special. It's a Christmas miracle. So this goes till the end of the year. Apparently, you'll get $3,000 instead of $1,000 if you self-deport by going to the what used to be Joe Biden's CBP One app, which is to invade, now is used to deport yourself. And $3,000 is pretty good. By the way, it costs over $17,000 to detain, catch and deport illegals. So why don't we bump it up instead of $3,000? Why don't we do seriously like $9,000, $10,000? By the way, if you get $3,000, and they also will still get you a free plane ticket. And here, just download the app, fill out your information, and DHS will take care of the rest, including arranging and paying for your travel back home. Now, I also wonder, this is like a travel agency doing this for you. So is this all-inclusive? Can we at least say we'll also give you free Wi-Fi? That's usually $8 to $17, depending on you with whether you're with Southwest or American. So let's give them free Wi-Fi. Let's give them free peanuts on the plane. And how about free movies, too? What do you say? Come on, baby. I love this. Merry Christmas. Deport your ass. Excuse me, my language there, but I just have to do that. So, I would be okay with like $9,000 to $10,000, for a limited time only, and then I think it would be great. Hey, by the way, would you chip in if we could contribute some money to incentivize illegals to get out of here? I would. $5, $10, I don't know, something like that. We could crowdfund like they did for Miss Jeannie, Grandma Jeannie from Target, which we'll get to her in a little bit, and TPUSA, their AMFest. But first, the Haitian and other illegals are now flooding into Canada, claiming asylum. 32,000 have flooded there so far this year, fleeing here. A mother of 4 in Tucson, her husband was recently deported, and she now says, you know what, I'm going to do the CBP One app and go too. She's sad, she's miserable. She's like, I got to be with my husband. Good, leave. And I wish you all the best. And then you can come back legally, most likely, if you do it that way. Now, also, we have a brand new Texas law that goes into effect. I could not be happier with this for DFW peeps. Effective January 1st. This is so incredible. Effective January 1st, Texas Senate Bill 8 mandates every single county in Texas that has 100,000 people or more must comply with and get 287G. What is that? That is ICE software that is put in the jail. It is also training for 2, 3, 4, however many deputies that need to be trained at the jail. Every time somebody is booked in the jail, doesn't matter what color they are, who they are, talk, if they speak English, doesn't matter. They're run through the ICE system, and if they are an illegal, they are flagged and set up for removal and deportation by our great federal government. And by the way, if you are one of these counties that has 100,000 or more, if you're under 100,000, that doesn't count. That's going to be too unmanageable for them, apparently. So it also establishes financial assistance pipelines for sheriffs and counties with populations under 1 million to help them with grants to cover participation costs. So I think that's absolutely awesome, and I could not be happier. It's fantastic. Man, I'm telling you, the blue states, like I'm feeling it in Chicago, my hometown this week, they so incentivize stuff. Absolutely incentivized stuff. It's just so sickening. You could see how an illegal would just flee and go over there. But even there, they're afraid, which they should be, because they're illegal, and we're hunting them down and deporting them. Now, also, this is brand new, too, from the New York Times. Trump administration aims to strip more foreign-born Americans of citizenship. It sounds scary bad, but it's not. Anybody who has been naturalized can be denaturalized if they commit fraud while applying for citizenship, like Ilhan Omar with marrying her brother, and a lot of Somalis, most likely, or at least a good chunk of them in Minneapolis. Or there's other few narrow circumstances. So I think that's great. They're looking to get 100 to 200 denaturalization cases per month that they sent off to field service offices. So maybe that means 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 a month. Anything, everywhere, every angle. I'm very happy that we're doing that. So that's some great news. No word on a new car, but I would not be against a $1,000 bonus and buying them their choice of a car or down payment on a house, because it's third world country. It's going to be nothing compared to what it is here. I mean, it could be $3,000 to get a car there. It could be $3,000 to put 10% down on a house or 20% down on a house. Seriously. Okay, this is insane. This is the second case within, I'd say, 4 weeks in the Metroplex in Dallas-Fort Worth where somebody literally is upset about the way somebody. First, it happened in a store in South Dallas where a lady opened the door and held it for somebody, and the young lady that went through didn't say thank you. And so the woman said, "You're welcome." She was shot and killed in a parking lot by that thugette shortly thereafter. Now comes another case just like this where somebody is, look, you don't do things so you can have somebody say thank you. And if they don't say thank you, keep it to yourself. Why would you hold the door, and then if they don't say thank you, why would you attack them? Are you holding the door to set them up? In this case, a young thug and his brother are at a dart station. The mugger mover, the jail rail. Shocked this is happening. A father and his children are at the dart station, and this thug and his brother, here's what happens. They walk by this man with his children. The man says, the thug says, "Excuse me." So the guy and his children walk by the thug and his brother. The thug says, "Excuse me," to which the man with his children says, "Excuse you." Guess what happens? Just like the lady earlier this past month in South Dallas, he's shot and he's killed. So now there's children watch their dad die because this guy, and I'm not trying to, he's dead, but maybe you shouldn't be telling somebody, "Excuse you," or "You're welcome." Civility. And maybe you want to figure out, this guy looks like he might be a thug. After all, you can see his hair and his booking photo. It's all over the place. So he shot and killed that man. He's 18 years old. He's in Dallas County Jail now for murder. It was 9:40 p.m. at the 8th and Corinth Station for the mugger move of the dart, the jail rail. So they took a fighting stance. The dad with the kid said, the thug said, "Excuse me," to which the dad said, "Excuse you." Then they both took a fighting stance, and then the 18-year-old thug pulled out a handgun, fired, and shot him and killed him according to the charges. Is it worth it, Dad? I know he's dead, but it's just like road rage. People, we see cases all the time in DFW and all over the country where somebody's an idiot on the road. They lose their cool and they're dead. It's not freaking worth it. Now you got kids with no dad. If you could talk to dad from the grave, was it worth it? You know what he'd say. No. 5 things Texas vouchers will start. We have vouchers in Texas starting February 1st, I believe it is. Here's the thing. I and you know this if you know me, we homeschooled our kids. You hear me talk about my family. Today's one of those days, this week and next week, Christmas time, I'm working a lot. So when I work a lot, like sitting here for 15 hours a day or more, I get huggy. I saw my daughter. It's just me and her right now, and I gave her a hug. I need that hug. I need that human contact and that love. We raised our 2 kids. We homeschooled them. My son just graduated from college. I can't believe it. And I was praying for him today. It's unbelievable. But we homeschooled, and he graduated with A's and a lot of scholarships. Now she's got 2 years left. Starting next fall, she's going for her last 2 years. So we homeschooled, and this would have been amazing. The ESAs, the vouchers, it is for going to a private school or to other schools of your choice. You'll get about $10,800 per year in state funds. Students with disabilities can get up to $30,000. Homeschool students, that's us. And so this is why I was mentioning the homeschool. We literally lost so much money, and I'm not complaining, but we chose to do it. So we sacrificed not having a double income house for 10 years, 15 years. We also sacrificed, we paid at least $2,000 a year for tuition for one, if not maybe even double that for both. I don't know. So we would have gotten $2,000 for each kid. And I, as much as it kills me that we don't get that, we didn't get it, but that's okay. I'm glad that people are getting it now. God bless them. And if demands exceed the funding, it'll start with disabled, poor, and then it goes up to middle class and beyond. So it's done right. 25% of the funds will be available for digital accounts for people by July 1st. The rest, October 1st. It's incredible. So the beginning process will be in February, up to 90,000 students. God bless Texas, and every state should do this. It's freedom. They need to watch out and safeguard for fraud, because I fill in Phoenix regularly too, and there's tons of fraud with their program, and they're finding them and they're prosecuting them. But it's like you're in Minneapolis, huh? Okay. Oh gosh, remember that house for DFW peeps? Remember that house? Every year, there's this massive mansion. It's a 9,000 square foot mansion, and it's in George Bush's neighborhood, Preston Hollow. We were there. My wife and I were there. She picked me up from when I went to Chicago a few weeks ago to visit the folks, since I'm busy doing doubles and triple shifts here for 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's. We stopped at a Central Market, I think, in Preston Hollow in that area. And I was like, yeah, this is George Bush's neighborhood. We were talking, da-da-da. But that's the same neighborhood where this mansion, 9,000 square foot mansion, has so many insane, massive Christmas lights. I think they have a helicopter pad there and all sorts of stuff at this house. That people were flooding the streets and backing up traffic for a long time. Dallas police decided it was so chaotic they assigned officers, like, all the time, at least to deal with the traffic, and it was $25,000 in overtime or whatever for the officers to take care of it. So now comes some city council members, one who's a turd, Councilmember Gay Willis, who represents that area. She's like, let's take a survey to see what you guys want to do. Meanwhile, Council Kara Mendelson, who's definitely got her head screwed on straight, she says, I don't support some kind of stupid survey. No, they're Christmas lights. Leave it alone. It's a problem. Well, guess what? This just broke on WFA TV Channel 8 this afternoon. The house on the 6200 block of Deloche Avenue in Preston Hollow, their neighborhood group got a permit, and they hired 4 cops that are going to work traffic during the days December 23rd, starting tomorrow, 24th and 25th. And they're going to keep people out of the neighborhood unless you live in that neighborhood, or that someone lives in that neighborhood, put you on a guest list. Otherwise, you ain't getting into that neighborhood. So they paid the money. They got a permit. And there's an invitation being circulated on social media, but it's not valid for access, says Channel 8. Only residents of the 6200 block of Deloche and those on their guest list will be admitted. That's funny. Very funny. Okay. What else do I got for you? Turning Point USA. Out of horrible things, God does things. There is a scripture verse, Romans 8:28. And we know God causes all things to work together for good, to those who know God, to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. For those whom He foreknew, how's it go? For those whom He foreknew, He predestined those to become conformed to the image of His Son, so that He would be the firstborn among many brethren. Basically, God causes bad things to happen for those who love God, to work together for God's good. Horror with Charlie Kirk being killed. God uses these horrible things for good. Joseph in the Old Testament in the Bible, his brothers threw in a pit, left him for dead, and he said, "What you meant for evil, God used for good." And so that's where I preface Nicki Minaj, who she's an A-lister. I've known who she is for years and years, but I don't listen to her music. I couldn't tell you if she was R&B, soul. Apparently she's a rap queen or something like that. She's got 25 million followers on Twitter, so she's really a big deal in that regard. And Charlie's death opened her up to share her faith and to stand. And she already apparently is a Christian, already is a member of a church. Her pastor's Nigerian. When President Trump stood up for the Christians in Nigeria and told the Nigerian government, you are going to stop the genocide of Christians, where they're going in and killing them, raping them, and kidnapping them while they're worshiping God in a church as Christians in Nigeria. Or we're going to come in there and fix it for you, Nigeria. And that's when Nicki Minaj first came out and supported Trump and was praising him for what he did. Then, unbeknownst to us, Every year, Charlie Kirk for AMFest, America Fest at TPUSA, which just was this past weekend, Charlie would always have a surprise guest. This year, even though Charlie has passed, Erica picked Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj apparently reached out to her and said, "How can I help?" This is how she was moved. Nicki, at sometimes, I'm going to play you some audio, is a little bit nervous. Not because she's not used to millions of people watching her live or thousands of people watching her perform live, but because she's sharing her faith, which is deeply personal. There's many, 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 many Christians who, including myself sometimes, are afraid to share their faith one-on-one, let alone on stage. But this is how God is using her for good. Here she is. And here's what she said, one of the many things I wanted to play. I'm not going to play too much, but because you've probably heard most of it by now. Here we go. This is important to me.
I've traveled the world. I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. Because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God. And there's been a lack of that.
So it's true. It's true. You know, they go after Christians and Jews because they worship God. They go after Christians and Jews because it's the truth. What they're doing is the truth. And as my friend Eric Erickson, I'm trying to find, there's a quick write-up he wrote. Oh, you know what? I think it's over here. I'm going to read it to you because it's that important. He talks about it. Here we go. It's right here. The reason why Christians and Jews are attacked is because Jesus told them, the world hates me and the world will hate you. Here we go. For my friend Eric Erickson. As the wisest Jew who ever lived said, the things of the world hate him and those who are with him. Jesus Christ said that, a Jew. Christianity comes from a Jewish man named Jesus who was also the God of all creation. The things of God are with Jews and Christians. And so, of course, Islamists and secularists are of the world, and so they hate the things of God. So secularists in Islam could together come to a coherent rationality on standing up to Christians and Jews and being violent towards them and assuming once they're gone, you and me, Christians and Jews, once we're gone, then they can settle the fight between themselves. And that's just what will happen. They hate us because they hate Jesus. It's that simple. And Nicki Minaj is being used by God to share her faith to millions upon millions of people. And it's beautiful and it's amazing. Nicki also dropped the A word, and they knew the left was going to use this, and they have today, but it doesn't matter. Let's play this. Nicki said assassin, and didn't realize when she said it, she's like, oh, Charlie was assassinated.
See, dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine. Yes, we did. I love you.
Nicki put her hand on her mouth at this point.
I love you. You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord, and words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. I will not judge that.
J.D. Vance had a brilliant takedown of the left because he talks about Charlie's assassin. He literally followed everything the left tells young men to do.
And we might ask, what are the fruits of these people and their principles? And the answer is a man named Tyler Robinson who killed my friend. Think about it. He is everything that the far left want from our young men. He rejected the conservatism and the spirituality, the values of a small town family. He moved into a small apartment. He became addicted to porn. He became addicted to hate. And he ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman. That is the nightmare scenario, but that is the scenario that the left has actively advertised they want for American families. And the young men in the audience in particular. That is exactly why we have to fight them.
Amen. Brilliant. Brilliant. That's why he is who he is. Right there. That's why he's very successful and is going to... Oh, by the way, TPUSA announced also, Erica Kirk announced that they are going to personally put in everything, TPUSA, to get him elected as president, the next president of the United States of America. She officially announced that at AMFest. Huge news. Charlie discovered him, or I should say picked him, and I think he reached out to J.D. Vance, or vice versa, but no, I think he reached out to J.D. Vance and said, I want you to run for Senate. J.D.'s like, what do you mean, da-da-da. And that's when it happened. And then when Trump was running, he said, President Trump, you need to pick J.D. Vance for your running mate. Just incredible. Incredible what he did. And so my prayer is that J.D. Vance will be the next president of the United States after Trump serves his third term. Meantime, one more thing. Miss Jeannie. Remember Miss Jeannie? She was horrifyingly treated at Target when she was working there. This sick leftist woman came up to her, rolled tape, and put it on her social media feed, saying vile things to her and treating her, dehumanizing her because she's wearing a red Charlie Kirk shirt while she's working at Target.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why?
So,
Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not
It's
a
a
Target
red
shirt.
shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a planned shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you f***ing stupid?
No.
Why the f*** would you wear that? You're at work.
She goes on to say, I'm going to go after you, I'm going to go to your boss, and then she calls her a piece of S.
Have a
Insane.
nice day.
Insane. Piece of shit.
What a sick, twisted place to be for that woman. Just sick. Miss Jeannie, people started a fundraiser for her, and they said we need to give her a nice vacation for what she's gone through. The nice vacation now sits at $286,000. And Miss Jeannie was also interviewed, because this went everywhere, obviously. Her local news interviewed her about this and said, do you want her to be fired? Because her employer was well aware of it. They gave a public statement, and they said they were investigating it, and they said that it was horrible what she did. The police department investigated it, and here's what Miss Jeannie said to the local news.
I know people are calling for her to be fired for this. Do you think that that's right? Would you like that to happen?
No, I don't think that's right. Like, one saying I have is, two wrongs don't make a right. You know, she wronged me, but I don't want to wrong her, or I don't want her wrong, because it's not going to make it right.
Very sweet woman. Grandma Jeannie was called up on stage at TPUSA at AMFest yesterday as a surprise. I guess she had two surprise guests this year. This is great.
Benny, I hope you don't mind, but I brought a special guest to come celebrate AMFest with us. Oh, you mean America's Target grandmother? Grandma Jeannie is in the house. And wearing the famous Charlie Kirk red Target shirt.
You know what Grandma Jeannie showed that sick woman and how she mistreated her? You know what Grandma Jeannie showed her by saying, I don't want her to lose her job? Grandma Jeannie was displaying godly character. God gives us mercy when we don't deserve it. Jeannie gave the woman who horribly mistreated her, mercy. And my prayer is that this miserable, nasty woman recognizes that, and it comes under conviction for that. There's a good chance she won't, but that's mercy right there. That's amazing. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Very good ending on everything so far. Very good ending. Okay. What else do I have for you? Bill Clinton. This is great. Bill Clinton is angry. He's angry because he's featured in so many Epstein pictures. You know, the one of him laying back with his head against the hot tub and there's a redacted female next to him. Could be one of the sex trafficking victims. There's another one of him swimming in a pool next to Ghislaine Maxwell, the pimp who's in prison in Texas for being Epstein's pimp for underage sex trafficking. And there's another redacted female. I'm not going to say woman. We don't know if it's one of the minors. There's another one of another redacted face looking very youthful, like it could be one of the victims, sitting on his lap on the plane, Epstein's Lolita Express, and so many more of them. Bill Clinton came out to say he's angry. Grr. He demanded that Trump's Justice Department release the rest of the Epstein files after he was featured. He doesn't want to be the only one. He says somewhere something is being protected. We need no such protection. He called on Pam Bondi to immediately release any remaining materials referring to, mentioning, or containing a photograph of Bill Clinton. I demand you release it all, as if he has nothing to hide. Oh, do you remember that one that came out years ago? With the, I believe she was she was one of the sex trafficking victims, and she was massaging him in an airport. Remember that? You know one of the things I retweeted when those pictures came out the other day? Why isn't Hillary in any of these pictures? Where's Hillary? So, she wants all the files with his name and pictures released. Yeah. That's it. When you're dead in the water, the only thing you can do is, I demand you release all of them, as if he has nothing to hide. What a big old loser. Okay. Chuck Schumer is demanding action to release every Epstein file. He's got some proposal. Congress doesn't even come back in session until January 5th. They're all going to be released by the end of this year. So it's just great. Now, what else do I have for you? I've told you this for years. My wife buys and sells stuff. Good stuff, nice stuff. And makes a great side hustle. Does very well on the side. Buying and selling stuff on Facebook and all the ones. What's the one? eBay, everything. And I've always been concerned when she buys and sells stuff and I'm not with her. When I am with her on stuff, I pretty much quote unquote nicely demand or whatever, or I firmly ask. I'm not gonna try to make her do anything, but for me to go with her when it's something that's over a couple $100, I always carry my pistola with me just in case you don't know. But here's somebody who did it right in Carrollton. They met on Facebook Marketplace. There were two $900 watches. They met in a parking lot of a police station, and yet the theft. The dude that's accused of stealing had two $900 watches on his wrists, I guess, and then he just jumped in a car and went away. But because it was a parking lot for the police station, they got the plates and they cuffed and stuffed one guy. The rest of them are on the lam. They got one $900 watch. The point of this is that even with that, you can get jacked. Now, they were not in the official exchange zone, which they have a couple parking spots, I guess, at the Carrollton Police Department where you can do that. I highly recommend that, period. But they weren't in that zone, but they were in the parking lot at the police department, which should have been more than enough. It's wild. But they actually said, Carrollton Police says, you can come inside where the jail is. Not in the jail, but you know what I mean, like at the entrance there to the jail, the lobby, and exchange items, and it's monitored 24 hours a day, obviously. So I guess you got to be in the jail lobby, and that way you can see. You're going to be on the other side of the glass if you jack me right now, but I'm glad the person's okay. I'm glad they got one watch back. Okay, we're going to close with somebody who obviously hates most of our political views, period, but that's okay because she's talented. Cher. I know you're going, ugh, but listen. She's born and raised, well, at least, yeah, she was raised in Dallas-Fort Worth area. She put this out on Twitter not too long ago. I think she made another comment just a moment ago, but this came out in the Star Telegram today. She tweeted, lived in Burleson off and on as a kid. No paved roads, one woman by great aunt's house, built in 1882, old Southall place. Had TV and kids, went outside to Ice House for fun. We built bathroom for Aunt, and Ethel, and had a pet horned toad, and my dad shot Aunt's pet chicken by accident, and she cried. Very funny. That's half my Texas story. If you plug the same address in today, I mean, it's, I know she's a loon, but that's okay. If you it's kind of cool though, right? If you plug that same address in Google Maps today, it shows a quiet neighborhood located across from I-35 from Heart 8 BBQ, along with Fort Worth. Cher also lived in Galveston. She says she still has loved ones in Texas today. And I will see you tomorrow morning, Chicago, 5 to 9 on AM 560, Chicago's Morning Answer. It's all on my social media feed if you want to know where to go. Just listen live there. Or you can watch on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, Chicago's Morning Answer, and watch me live from 5 to 9 from right here sitting in this studio. It's great. They do a great job. And then I'll be in San Antonio shortly thereafter from 10 to 11 a.m. and then split shift from 3 to 5. So 10 to 11 and 3 to 5 for KTSA, great station in San Antonio.